Welcome to the Below the Belt podcast. Great to have each and every one of you joining us from around the world. We are so privileged, guys. We are so privileged, and we count ourselves so special to have you guys with us on a daily basis. We are tremendously privileged. I see Beatrice Selby is already with us. She said, "Good day, folks. Awaiting. I'm waiting." Good to have Beatrice, who is joining us via YouTube. And those of you who are joining us via Twitter, you're joining us via YouTube, you're joining us via Facebook. It's not Facebook. Facebook is for decent people. It's Facebook, guys. Let us know if you're receiving us loud and clear. Lauren Jones, believe it or not, it's afternoon where we are. Lauren says, good morning, but perhaps Lauren is in the diaspora, and we know in places like the USA, they are hour behind, so it could be 11 o'clock there while it's 12 here. We see Tessa Lane Eastman says she's watching from Brooklyn. Gemma George, let us know if you guys are hearing us loud and clear. Nas Yan, good to see you. Margaret Nelson, how was your trip back to New Jersey? Margaret, good to hear from you. Michaela Webster and Pamela Saturine, Magnell Barrow and Esther DeJong. Good to see you. Donald David, Rhonda Lane and Rowena Williams. I see Monica Richards is here as well. Derek Smith. And I see Olivia George is here too. Denise London Welchman. And I see Blank Bullet. He has got his names from that. Blank Bullet. Desiree Smart Felix. Great to see you as well. Mark Allman and Andrea Boston. Guys, you know you come on the podcast Below the Belt with yours truly, Sherry Duncan. We encourage you to share the live stream. We encourage you as well to click that emoji button. Let's see how you guys are feeling out there. Hope the weather is great where you are, guys. We hope the weather is great where you are. Derek Smith again and Rhonda Lane, Mark Williams, we see you out there. Mark Garnett as well. All the Marks with us today. Great to see all the Marks with us. Great to see Tessa Lane Eastman. Paulette Hicks, again, good to see you, Paulette. Paulette says, every day I hear waiting for the tech-ups. You aren't easy, you know. You aren't easy at all. Candida Lane Energy is on the podcast. She said, let's fight. Good to see you, Candida Lane Energy. Good to see you. Vashti Magnot joining us from Waterloo, Canada. Guys, don't say put my accent there right away. Waterloo, Canada. Good to see you. Good to see you, Vashti Magnot. Peggy Russell Elias. Great to see you as well. And all the other fantastic folks. Auntie Sandra Hanover said about here. I like that. Just like we read about it too. Auntie Sandra Hanover. I see Anissa Yearwood is with us. Anissa Yearwood Shepherd. Good to see you, Anissa. Frank Moore is on the broadcast as well. Karen Clark is here too. Lucas Princess and Freya Lion. Abigail Utnil Prasad has joined us too, guys, and we're so privileged that so many of you are joining us. Guys, as you come on the podcast, Below the Belt with yours truly, Sherrod. Share Duncan, guys, we ask that you share the live stream. Tech-ups in Parliament last night. Oh, we can touch on that. The tech-ups, we says tyranny of the numbers. The PPP one-seat majority dictatorship. Tyranny of the numbers, and we seem to have some of our thing here a little off. And guys, we're gonna correct that. Don't worry, we can correct that. We take your worries. We can correct that quick. Right? These folks and the one-seat majority. This true is on-seat majority. Because none of them went in the seat last night when they tried for vote. None of them went in the seat. These jagabats. Guys, we can be talking some more about them. They're easy here though. I think they're not easy. Them are the one-seat majority. We can talk some more about them in just a little bit, folks. We ain't having it. We are not having it. Oh, this is who they are. This is who they be, folks. This is who they are. It's a dictatorship. That is what we have operating in this country. It ain't creeping no more. It's here with us. It's walking strong. And like last night, it was running, folks. It wasn't creeping last night. And we're going to be talking about that. We should be joined by our Member of Parliament, Amanza Walton-Desir, and perhaps some other folks might be stopping by. We're still hopeful, but we know Amanza is going to be joining us shortly. And again, we are so grateful for that. Amanza will be joining us up in the hizzer. And we couldn't ask for more, guys. We could not ask for more. The one and only member of parliament, Amanza Walton-Desir, should be joining us. Is the the tyranny of the numbers, folks. Them are the one seat majority. Mark Garnett, Deshaun Alexander, them and the one seat majority. Them are the one seat majority. We having it. We are not having the PPP one seat majority. That's what they're trying with. But we having it, people. We are not going to have it. Valencia Langhorne, we see you there. Folks, Rashley Ford, we see. Rashley, I was coming with just eyes. Rashley, hope he's not spy, you know. We just seen eyes, you know. Just see two eyes. Rashley got the emoji. It's a two eyes. Pair of eyes watching us. Good to see you. I see officially, is it Mip? Patricia is with us. Brenda Casey is here too. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Folks, wherever you guys are joining us from around the world, welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. I dare say so. Please and thank you. Our international podcast. Good to have all of you guys on the live stream with us. It is our privilege, it is our pleasure hosting you guys today, guys, in Georgetown, our national capital city, home of our podcast Below the Belt, or international podcast. They're telling us it is 27 degrees outside. 27 degrees outside. And anytime after lunch, weather.com, this is not the folks here. We don't follow them. Because when they say sunshine is rain. When they say rain, snowing. And so according to weather.com, it's 27 degrees outside. It sure feels that way. And they're telling us anytime after lunch today, there's a 24% chance of rain. That's a very, very small percentage, a very small percentage chance of rain. Tomorrow, they're telling us anytime after lunch, there's a 57% chance of rain. So we're still watching that though, and we hope that the weather is good where you are. Even if you're far north and it's tremendously cold where you are, we are going to be wishing you guys that it's warm. If it's cold, that you guys are bundled up. You have on your, what you call it? You have on your warmers. You have on your layers. That was the word I'm looking for. You have on your layers. And guys, stay safe. All right? Practice your COVID-19 protocols wherever you are. So we're following this, what's coming out of the National Assembly as of last evening. The thief in. I know we were following the trash the speaker was talking. The scamp. Those scamp. Mansuna dear, you, yes, you, is old scamp. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But let me bring in Manza one time as we begin our discussion. Guys, what are you having for lunch? I bought some roti and curry. And I got some fruit punch. And so that's what I'm going to be on for lunch today, guys. What are you guys having for lunch where you are? I want to know. We fast. Send us a picture, man. Put a picture in the comment section. What are you guys having for lunch? Or let us know what you guys are having for lunch. Petula Boy says it's long johns. It's not layers and so on. Leggings and things. Guys, make sure you're layered up. Make sure you're layered up. If it's cold where you are, make sure you guys are well layered up. And I'm happy. You listen to me. We always said this thing here is not only about APNU AFC. We don't mind people coming through, you know. Tomorrow we're going to be opening the lines for a little bit to hear from you guys. Whoever you are, all welcome in the ring. We can beat all we concerned. All are welcome in the ring. Let's fight. Right? And below the belt, we delivering blows. Do you think they're playing fair? When you all see what transpired in the National Assembly last year, you think they're playing fair? That's why we got to be below the belt, people. Wilton Blue, we below the belt. Anne-Marie Selby, we got to be below the belt. Derek Massey, we got to be below the belt. Cameron Augustus, Peggy Ruston Elias, we got to be below the belt. Who vex lose? Who vex lose? And so, you know, there are folks these are folks who are accustomed to bizarre press conferences. And I saw the Speaker of the National Assembly, the installed Speaker, the scamp, Mansur Nadir, trying to find his bearings, lie after lie, lie after lie. I listened to the Speaker tell, on Truth is a Parliament, lie, he's a liar. Lie after lie. Folks, I'm privileged today to have joining me my friend and sister, my colleague in the National Assembly, Member of Parliament, Amanza Walton-Desir. Member of Parliament, Walton-Desir, welcome to the podcast, Below the Belt, Without A. Without A! Welcome.
Good afternoon, Sharon, and thank you.
Excellent. Really, really happy to have you. We're joined by hundreds of people across the globe. You know, we are a scattered people, right? Much like how we were in the National Assembly last, but with a purpose. With a purpose. These camps trying with a bill. The Natural Resource Fund bill, all the pushback they get, not only from the opposition, but so many organizations, NGOs, individuals saying, pause this thing. Let me look at it and let me come back, you understand me, with a sensible way forward. Not them, not them. No, money got for make. So them boys pushed through the thing last night. A man to tell the listening public around the world, our listeners around the world, what transpired last night and what led to it. Maybe we can start there.
Well, Sharon, what we have to appreciate is that the Natural Resource Fund bill was a bill that came in for widespread criticism from all quarters of Guyanese society. With that in mind, the chief whip of the people of the coalition, opposition, stood and requested of the speaker that given this public outrage, given the public criticism, to have the bill sent to a special select committee to accommodate the widest possible range of consultations. Mm-hmm. This was denied by the speaker. It therefore meant that he was minded to go ahead to have the bill passed. And because as a parliamentary opposition, we understand the significance and the importance of what was about to happen in the National Assembly, we decided that we needed to take all steps necessary to make sure that it was not passed. The Speaker of the National Assembly seems to forget that he is there about the people's business, about the business of the Guyanese people, not the PPPC. From the time Parliament, from the time of the inception of this life of this Parliament, the Speaker has demonstrated his bias, his clear prejudice against the parliamentary opposition. He has denied us hearing motions of public urgent importance, such as the handling of the COVID pandemic, the worst flood in the history of Guyana. He has denied that. And so he has demonstrated that he is willing to shelter the People's Progressive Party Civic from any kind of scrutiny in the National Assembly. And that is unfair, and it is a disservice to the people of Guyana. And as the representatives of over 50% of the people of Guyana, we had to do what we had to do last evening. And so the speaker can label us if he wants terrorists or whatever. It's not what the speaker calls us, it's what we answer to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so he must understand that it's not business as usual. Mm-hmm. This is what happens when you deny people access to the democratic processes of the House. He, as the Speaker, could have taken cognizance of the wide outcry against this bill, and he could have exercised his discretion to have it sent to a select committee. Instead, he chose to shelter his political masters.
Because he's singing for supper.
What are we supposed to do?
Singing for supper.
Sit down and cross our hands and feet and allow this atrocity to be meted out on the people of Guyana? I think not. And for the hypocrites that would wish to stand up and judge us as hooligans and thugs, then so be it. Because if being a thug means standing up for the people of Guyana, then I guess we've chosen the thug life, Sharon.
Mm-hmm. We're out here. And Amanza, let me say this, because you started by articulating when the speaker, first came, and since then, what he has demonstrated, and we have lost confidence in him. But there was the idea that even though he has been pulled from the ranks and the bosom of the PPP, he's PPP through and through, we were going to give him a fair chance, and we did that. We respected the speakership, respected the office that he was, and we tried to give him a fair chance. But like you articulated, he has shut down every motion, every interjection we have had in the House. He only hears one side of the House, He only hears one side. He has selective hearing, selective retention. And he has become, as some of the folks said in the comments, a disgrace. And this is the legacy of his speakership, because he is so partisan, because he's so one-sided, because he's so biased. MP?
Look, like I said, Sherrod, we have no apologies to anyone for standing up for the people of Guyana. Like I said earlier in the day, I come from a long line of people whose ancestors had to fight for our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I am unapologetic about fighting for the future of this nation. I am unapologetic. Hypocrisy has to stop. When PPPC supporters are, raining down terror, to use the speaker's words, have policemen running away, chasing policemen. They almost overturned a sitting minister vehicle, the one who's president now. In the National Assembly, you saw from the days of Chedi Jagan, him throwing over the mace. You saw their conduct in the National Assembly, rape in the parliament. That wasn't terrorism.
No. It wasn't.
That was them standing up for their rights.
Yes,
but when the
wasn't
AP and UAFC, members of parliament, decided we will stand for the people that we represent, we are labeled terrorists and we are branded terrorists.
Because they're hypocrites.
We want them to understand that this is a different dispensation. We will not be defined by what you call us, because you do not define us. We define ourselves. And so this game, this psychological game that they have been playing, of preying on us and worrying and have us worried about how they will see us, no longer holds. We know that they see us as second-class citizens, not even deserving, Sherrod, of having a bill that will determine the management of the intergenerational wealth of this country, managed or sent to a special select committee. That is the level of disrespect. And the speaker has the temerity to come up here and brand people terrorists. He is a terrorist, sheltering under the garb of the Speaker of the National Assembly, because he continues to muzzle the opposition. He continues to stand in the way of transparent governance. And so he needs to take several seats in addition to the one that he holds as Speaker.
So, while Amanza has been articulating here is that these jagabats who were going to call us thuggish, they are the ones, as Amanza said, who were shouting rape in the National Assembly, refusing to have Edgel removed under the Speaker's direction. Disrupted David Granger many times, even taking placards into the National Assembly with their thuggish, brutish, and feral behavior. Karen Cummins and others making their way to listen to David Granger's presentation at the Pegasus Hotel before the, I think it was the Manufacturers Association. Almost had their vehicle upturned by the same sitting catfish Irfan Ali. Same person. And in 1991, it is out there when they grabbed for the Speaker's mace, pelted the Speaker with a glass. And they talking about the descent of Parliament? Come on, guys. Come on. Don't come around with funny. Amanza?
I believe that the PPPC does not yet understand that we live in the information age and that information is readily available to the people of Guyana. We saw their attempts to muzzle the freedom of information last night when we approached the DPI. This is the People's Department of Public Information.
It means it is paid for by taxpayers.
Money to speak to them and to put our position out to the Guyanese public. They were told in no uncertain terms by Kwame McCoy, and we have this on video, that they must not speak to the opposition. Because guess what? The voices of the 50% of Guyanese that we represent, the voices do not matter to the PPP.
As a matter of fact,
we're not having any more of it. And I'm saying to the people of Guyana that if we do not stand up now and let the PPP know and understand what time of the day it is, the Bible admonishes that when we eat sour grapes, our children's teeth are going to be set on edge. And this is why we need to stand up now and take a stand for our future generations. What Guyana are we leaving to our children? We brought them into this world. What Guyana are we leaving them in? We're leaving them one that they will be second-class citizens for the rest of their lives, where the only jobs available to them are the menial ones. This is serious, and the people of Guyana have to wake up and to understand what is happening here. The PPP attempted to use a toy mace sherrod to pass this bill through the National Assembly, a toy mace.
I'm coming to that, Amanza. Don't let's head there just yet. I want to come back to what you talked about them siphoning off the state resources for themselves and not even allowing opposition MPs to speak to the state media. Reporters have told us when the protest in Parliament started, they could not see anything on the live stream because they cut the live stream. They cut the live stream. This is where we are. Folks, it's a country. It's a dictatorship. It is the tyranny of the numbers. This is how the people using their one-seat majority in Parliament to operate. This is what they're doing.
And this is the one Guyana they're talking about. And you know what is galling? It is galling to see that there's supporters who are failing to understand that the evils that will be visited on this country because of such a bill. Support it. When you ask some of them, have you read the bill? No, I haven't read it. And this is what we talk about, our people becoming invested in their political future. This is your country, and you have to stand up for it. This is my country, and I have to stand up for it. You understand what I'm saying? This is the time that we have to this is our nation's patrimony. When the oil is not a renewable resource, when it's done, it's done. It therefore means that whatever monies we get from it, we have to ensure that it is managed so that our children do not face modern day slavery in their own country. That is how serious it is. And then you have a PPPC that has completely corrupted the procurement system. They have taken out all of the oversight. They have broken down all of the safeguards. And then they want unfettered access to the nation's patrimony.
Because they want a thief. That is what they want. Amanza, you talked about them using this.
No thieving bill must pass.
No thieving bill must pass. You talked about them using this toy mace. And then in this, another bizarre press conference out in the PPP, the speaker's press conference this morning, he's at pains to say that members were in the seat, or at least a majority of them, when he looked around, at least a majority of them were in the seats, to pass this bill. Well, a bill has to be passed by a majority. Right? And definitely, the opposition didn't vote yes to this bill.
The fact remains that the bill was not lawfully passed.
Talk to us about
It was
that.
not passed in keeping with the standing orders, the principles, and the customs of the National Assembly. The PPPC is showing a serious proclivity for toys. They took out a toy mace last night. You recall one of their members brought a particular type of toy.
Yeah, Dr. Dildo, Dr. Dildo. We call him Dr. Dildo. That's what he brought. Sex toys, Mr. Sex Toys.
We are the only thing standing between the descent of our parliamentary democracy into a complete dictatorship. And if standing up to Speaker Nadir and the PPP in the National Assembly warrants us all kind of labels, we have been called thugs. But I say, Cheryl, that to me, a thug is trusted hands uplifting Guyana. So we can be thugs.
Well, I would have you know that the dictionary definition of nadir, the dictionary definition of nadir, it said it's the lowest or most
It's the
unsuccessful
lowest
point
point.
in a situation. It's the lowest and most unsuccessful point in a situation. So he has to
And
carry
so
that with him.
Nadir
Yeah,
has literally taken us
yeah, right here,
to the nadir
right there.
of the parliament's existence.
Right there, right there. And we got, they think they're bad, The PP think they're bad, but they didn't factor in this cohort of MPs. Right? More thing there, PPP, more thing there. Right? So he
Well,
could come out with
Sharon,
all his
you
threats
would have heard
and
in the
foolishness.
National Assembly last night the vilest of threats issued against
Oh,
us.
yes.
I want the Guyanese public to know that our safety was threatened, our lives were threatened. We were threatened with incarceration last night. We were threatened that they're going to do for we. We were threatened that what they do with Winston Jordan is we next. We received all manner and sorts of threats from the People's Progressive Party Civic. And so I want the people of Guyana to be aware and to be on guard and to be vigilant and to be militant. Because the PPPC clearly has a problem with anybody who dares to stand up and to speak up for the constitutional rights in this country.
That's where we are. And so in this press conference this morning, we heard lie after lie. Oh God, there were so many lies. It was a novel I read some time ago, or a movie where somebody said I could sit and listen to you lie for hours. That's the speaker this morning. Lie after lie. He said, one of the journalists asked whether when the protest started, I think it was Dennis Chevron out of Demar Wales, whether he sought to speak with the opposition as to the way forward. He said he tried to contact the chief whip. That is a lie. That is a lie.
Sharon, it is a bold-faced lie. At all
How you could trust the
times,
speaker?
the chief whip was standing in the well of the National Assembly. And the practice is that should the speaker require the presence of any member of the opposition, the sergeant at arms is sent there to summon that person. So don't let Manju Nadir get on the TV or wherever he was and lie to the people of Guyana. You see, we could read and we big and we got sense.
We big and we got sense indeed. Listen to me. As I said earlier on, folks who are now joining us, welcome to the podcast Below the Belt. I'm privileged to be talking today with Amanza Walton-Desir, and we're catching up on some of the action out in the National Assembly last evening. We passed this teeth-in bill concerning the Natural Resources Fund Bill 2021. It's a teeth-in bill. They want their hands on the Guyanese people money. And I'm so privileged to have you guys on this podcast. You from around the world, Joylyn Cook and Sam Vanderstap and Hugh Fraser, Emlock Grant and Michelle Jones, Roxanne Aaron, and all you other fantastic folks. Let me tell you all something. When I was a young man, Amanza, way back in the... People think I know come out, but I did about too long. It was the 1997 election, if memory serves me correctly. Mansour the Deer at that time had a party called the TUF. It is disintegrated because nothing ever blossomed on the... That's why the parliament is at its nadir, its lowest point. He had a party called the TUF. And he was a young man then in that time, now upcoming in politics, and seemed to be fairly decent. He didn't swing yet. And I remember there was public unrest with the results of the 1997 elections, general and regional elections, because the thief don't want to. You remember when Janet threw the court order over the shoulder? The injunction, that election with Do Not. You remember a song called Rig Not? And the refrain was rig not, why you rigged the election? That same election. I remember Mansour with that party, TUF, meeting Mansour on Regent and what street is that? It is now Shiv Narayan Chandra Paul Drive. And the man said, shook our hands as young men, teenagers. He said, we ain't gonna let them thief this election like this. Hold the strain, hold the strain. Within a week, Amanza Walton-Desir was a minister of tourism under the PDP. The same man that said, we ain't gonna let them thief this election. You understand me? Y'all stay fighting, y'all stay protesting. That same fella, that same jaggerback, that same fella, I have never forgotten. That man shook my hands as a young man.
This is the man.
And we still give him a fair chance in the National Assembly. And this is what he has brought us to.
This is the man that believes that he can call people names when he's the worst.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Sherrod, I have lost respect for the speaker. And I know that maybe they're listening. I hope they're listening. And they may want to penalize us in the National Assembly. But listen, man, there comes a point. This parliamentary opposition, we have been ridiculed even by our own people for sitting so long and taking the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
We have given the National Assembly every opportunity to work, and we continue to intend to so do. But it cannot be business as usual. Cannot be business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be able to understand that, and the people of Guyana have to be able to understand that you need to support us in what we're doing. Over the coming days, Sherrod, we are going to be spending a lot of time bringing to the people's attention just how egregious this bill is.
Mm-hmm.
This bill was handed to us a mere 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
and since that time, we have been out in the public saying, look, this thing is dangerous. This is what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they've attempted to do the usual propaganda. They've attempted to label us. They've attempted to label us as riggers, when all and sundry know that the ballot boxes were reopened and it exposed who the real riggers were. Mm-hmm. But the PPP believes that they can continue to beat us down psychologically as they have done for the previous 23 years that they were in government.
Yep.
Well, we're not having it.
Yep. You know, there's a member of parliament. Who I admire, who I love a lot. And I really value this member of parliament insights. Her initials is AWD, and she has a refrain. She says often, y'all must listen to her. She says often, it has occurred to me. That's her refrain. I love it. It has occurred to me. So, Member of Parliament, it has occurred to me that all of this is about something. I know we spoke about it in passing, en passant. We have spoken about it in passing, but it has occurred to me they're after something. That's why they're so desperate. That's why they're so wicked, stink, and dirty. They're after something. In passing this legislation, in this desperation, group after group has my subject and verb. Let me make sure I get it right. Group after group, have come out against what they're trying to do here, but they ain't care. Group after group, whether it's Transparency International, whether it's Policy Forum Guyana, whether it's the Trade Unions Congress, whether it's Article 13 group after group, and say y'all all strain, individual after individual, all strain with this bill. What is it desperate, Amanza? It has occurred to me, there's desperation. Why are they so desperate?
Well, it has occurred to me too. It has occurred to me that the PPP government has been on a spending spree, and so they don't have money. And so in this Natural Resource Fund bill, there is a clause 17 that is tucked away there. A very short clause and seemingly innocuous, seemingly harmless, that says that upon the passage of the bill, the PPPC administration can take every cent out of the Natural Resources Fund. And they need that money. Because like I said, they've gone on a spending spree and they do not have money. And so this is why the desperation. This is why they resorted to a toy mace, a replica The mace that they use when they got youth parliament. Mock parliament. That is what that mace is. That's when the mace is used, when there's mock parliament. That is what they resorted to pass that bill last night with the speaker and his acolytes hunched over a mock mace.
Yeah.
One must ask oneself, why that depth of desperation?
Yeah.
And as for the conveniently outraged, they can take several seats. Because a lot of them are sitting behind their keyboards and commenting from Queens, commenting from Ontario, and they have no stake here because them are the children they saw. And a lot of them who would be sitting in their ivory towers and looking down on the people who are in the struggle day in, day out, when chaos erupts, they will jump on a plane and leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, their opinions of our struggle don't really matter at this point. If you are not here to help, don't hurt. All we have been asking for is for fairness and transparency in government. The National Assembly ought to be the one place that the people can count on to say, yes, we are going to ventilate our matters. That is why it's called the People's Parliament. That is why it is called Parliament. The etymology of the word means parler, to speak. That is where the people's voice must be heard. And you have a speaker that has from day one shut the voice of the people down or attempted to shut it down anyway. And then when people resist and rise up, you are labeled terrorists.
Mercy.
If that is not a dictatorship, if that is not a speaker saying you must know your place as a second-class citizen in this country, then I do not know what is. And Sherrod, I can speak on my own behalf because I am the only thing I can control. History is not going to record Amanza Walton-Desir as sitting by and staying silent when it mattered to her country the most.
Very well. Very well. Very well. You know, and I'm happy that you've gone in that direction, that you can speak on your own behalf. And you know, one of my favorite films is The Color Purple, and there's a character played by Oprah Winfrey in that movie called Sophia. And one of the refrains, much like that parliamentarian that I admire, it has occurred to me. Right? Sophia had a line in that that film, that epic film. She says, "All my life I've had to fight," and that's how I feel sometimes. All my life. I had to contend with Nadir as a young man and that disappointment that he became. You understand me? Being in an opposition for 23 years, all my life I've had to fight. I ain't going nowhere. And God knows I ain't joining the PPP. All my life we got to fight. You know, there's the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. And the title of it, The Struggle is My Life. This struggle is my life. What is the posture of the people, or should be the posture of the people who are listening us on this international podcast, because they're listeners from around the world, and I'm so privileged we've been able to have them in this way. What should be our posture at home and abroad at this time, in this tyranny and dictatorship, this installed regime, the PPP? What should be our posture, Member of Parliament?
Our posture has to, going forward, be, Sherrod, one of militancy. Guyana is ours to safeguard, buddy. It don't belong to nobody else but we. I mean, I got to go into McCreary's. It's we own. And just like how we got to vigorously defend it and send out a blade of grass against Venezuela, we have to defend it against those people who would seek to reimpose
enemies foreign and domestic
on us. You understand? The PPP elite means to take the place of the colonizers in this country. But Chedi, Burnham, and all of them fought against it. And so I'm calling on all Guyanese to understand what is at stake here. We have examples the world over where oil wealth has been mismanaged to the detriment of people. Next door, Venezuela, you had people resorting to eating rodents because of hyperinflation.
We not go far for the example. Right next door. Right next door. We not go far.
You understand? People are going with it was so bad. If you see money you had to get to pay for a roll of toilet paper. Hyperinflation because of the mismanagement of oil wealth. Or people that are saying when you don't hear, you're going to feel. I am pleading with my people of Guyana to hear, to take heed, and to take the destiny of your country into your hands. Get them 2 pieces of legislation and read them for yourself. If you don't understand what it says, call us. We are there to give guidance. And look and understand. I see some of the most asinine comments on Facebook. Oh, yeah, just vex, yeah, I can't get the money. Really? Really? Somebody is literally looking at you, poking out your eye. But your focus is on, oh, yeah, I'll just vex. He is abusing you in the worst way possible. But Stockholm syndrome, oh, yes, you just vex because you can't get the money. You don't realize that it is your children that will pay for your complacency. And if we don't hear Sherrod, we're going to feel. If we do not hear about the dangers of mismanaging our oil wealth, God help us.
God help us indeed. God help us indeed. We got far way to go in this country. And something tells me God get worse before it gets better. You understand me? They want to come and rob and to rape and to pillage this nation. Oh, we must just smile and say, oh, let me go down the road, we in a position, what we could do? Let me just go down the road and take it.
Can you imagine how much more different it would be had we had a president that would say, you know what? All of Guyana matters to me. Not just a part, not just my supporters.
And demonstrated that.
Let us sit around a table. Let us get the best heads on this. Let us take the opportunity to create something unique where, you know what, we could put aside political allegiance, we could put aside political affiliations and say, this is about the future of our country, this is about the future of our children. Let us therefore make sure that we don't squander this opportunity. But Sherrod, greed and avarice is clearly consuming the government of the day. And my prayer is that God will make it easy for us.
Yep. You know, we got a far way to go. Something that struck me last evening as we were engaging members on the other side on this contentious, provocative, as Starbuck News says, gravely deficient bill, is how clueless some of the members on the other side are on some of these issues. I am struck at how stupid, Susan Rodriguez is. And last night, hearing her, listening to some of her arguments, she's throwing back and forth. I said, girl, you're in a different time zone. You're a twilight zone. It makes me wonder what were they doing before they got these roles that they got. These installed roles that they have. When I listen to some of them, I see Kwame McCoy. God has already judged Kwame with a stroke. And Kwame ain't taking a hint that the Almighty don't like the direction he's going in. Barry Ramsaran in Parliament shaking with the illness that he got. He is shaking in the National Assembly. 3/4 of them sick, but then taking a cue from the Almighty to live better. And when you hear their arguments, I left wondering, when I got up close to Susan, I was listening to what she was saying. Where they come out from? Which rock they drag them out from? They have no political education at all. You understand me? Because only a hypocrite will be on television, like Joe Hamilton. You understand me? Presenting themselves like priests and parsons and calling people thuggish when they have had some of the worst behavior in the National Assembly. Where they get them from, answer? Where they pull them out from?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't know. And there's a school of thought of people.
Jesus.
Oh, two wrongs don't make a right. But what are a people who have sought to, at every turn, obey the law, obey the principles, obey the convention? What are a people to do when that system fails? I keep reminding people of the preamble words of the UN Convention on Human Rights. And it enjoins, it begs states to remember that supporting these tenets in this convention, it is a
Yep. Great element.
lest as a last resort the people rebel. It enjoins us follow these these human rights, uphold the human rights of people, lest men rebel as a last resort. And so the PPP continues to push the needle. They continue to push people. They continue to push people. You must take it. You must take whatever they mete out. You must take whatever they mete out. And the day you stand to raise your voice in this agreement, you are labeled a thug and a gangster, then so be it.
Yeah.
So be it.
A thug for the people. A gangster for the people. You understand me?
Well, like I said, I gave you my definition of thug. We are the trusted hands that will uphold Guyana. That's what we are.
Yep. This is where we are, folks. This is where we are. This is the juncture we are in our history as a nation. We tell you how they're coming back. And there are some of you, some of the trenches and jagabats on the podcast right now, you were hoping that it would have changed. They didn't change. They come back. It's just like they pick up from 2015. Right? And you know who's the architect of all of it? Yeah? Papa Jagabat, that demon. According to the leader of the PNCR, Mr. Abner, he's a demon. Right? He's a demon, you know, and it's reflective of so much of what Donald Trump did in the US of A. It seems that they can't govern in peacetime, you know, everything got to be chaotic and chaotic, depends on what school you went to. Every goddamn day in this country. Chaotic and chaotic.
I had an interesting experience this morning where one of their emissaries reached out to say, oh, Amanza, you had an unblemished record. Now you have just become something and whatever. I reminded them that I am the descendant, the proud descendant of slaves.
Mm-hmm.
I had to fight
for
our freedom.
I've had to fight.
We had to fight for our freedom, Sherrod. And so we're not at liberty to worry about how it's going to look or whatever it is. Because if our foreparents, if even down to Chedi and Burnham had to worry about how the struggle for independence is going to look, we would still be shackled.
Yep. When they pelting the speaker with the glass,
they were had to worry about how it's going to look in the struggle for freedom from slavery, we would still be in physical chains. Sharon, I don't usually get like this, but we have reached.
Dear, that's the point you reached.
Decide. This is the moment of decision that we're in.
Yeah. And it's a tough time. It's a tough time because we live and we dwell in this country, right? And we understand what is at stake here. We understand the risk. But who can take it if we don't take it? Marlon Camille Van Veen, Sheena Hazel. Who can take it?
Go.
Yep.
They have nowhere to go. The PPPC and the elite, the PPPC elite, because I guarantee you their supporters are punishing.
Yeah.
Are punishing just as badly.
They are.
They hop on a plane
they are.
and they leave.
You understand me?
And we are left in this struggle here. Our people, Guyanese people, irrespective of your race, your background, your ethnicity, are left here to punish and to suffer. And that is what we have to stand up against. That is what we have to stand up against. We don't have a million people in this country. We
Well,
have a million
yeah.
people in this country. We have the opportunity to create something so beautiful
Yeah.
and so unique. We have an opportunity to forge a Guyanese identity, and we are sacrificing it at the altar of political expediency, of greed, of thievery.
Yeah. You know, Barrel Jagger is never in the National Assembly. He's a absent parliamentarian. Right? Never in the National Assembly. But last night, Elan, when money bill passing, Elan, you know, some people don't know until payday. He's like that. First thing, the only time you see them in parliament is when money got to pass so they can fill their pockets. And when money bill passing last night, he present. He is present.
Yeah, well, you know, the man has admitted he don't even go to cabinet.
Yeah. So much
We have seen the complete disrespect. There's a photograph on social media. President installed though he might be, is still the president. You stand when you're addressing the president.
Mm-hmm.
He sits with his hands folded. Just no respect for the office, just no respect for nothing.
Because
and
they
then
know
they want
Catfish is
to
a
turn
puppet.
around and tell people what you must respect. And oh, look at you over there. You're behaving like thugs and hooligans. When they're the original thugs and hooligans and gangsters.
Yeah. And that's excellency speaker too. The speaker know he is there chihuahua. And he talking about respect. You understand me? Yeah, whole puppet regime, a puppet president, a puppet speaker. Most of the puppet ministers install all of them, and because you know how to talk about respect. If you want respect, call a flipping snap election. We can respect y'all. Call a snap election. Got the balls like Mayor and call a snap election. Have the balls like Mayor Motley and call a snap election, and then we talk about respect afterwards. Legitimize your government. After 2020.
No, well, they can legitimize the government by allowing the petitions to be heard.
Oh yes.
I've never seen a government who is claiming to be unafraid or unsure of their legitimacy fight two petitions like this government.
And also calling the opposition riggers. Prove how we rig. Send the petitions through.
Like I said before, and I'll say it again. The maintenance of freedom demands work. And as a people, we got to put the shoulders to the wheel. We got to decide when we get up in the morning if we are going to go to work and just go through our day, just run of the mill, or whether we are going to decide and determine within ourselves that we are going to put our shoulders to the wheel and build this nation that we will be proud of. We sit down in the parliament yesterday, blackout. 50-something years after independence.
Yeah.
We can't have proper power supply.
Yep.
Blackout. You saw the stark contrast in power supply in the 3 years that the AP and you were able to manage. And I say 3 years because you didn't have a budget after the third year.
Because of them.
Our supply improved.
Yep. You know.
And we've gone right back to those dark days. They've brought back the incompetent man that was fired before. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The PDP want to lecture to people? Please.
Listen, after denying Guyanese around the world, listeners around the world, after denying the opposition, airtime on state media, taxpayers' money, they're going to come and preach about one Guyana. Oh, get them A for boldness. Get them A for boldness. Then come and lecture. Oh, one Guyana, corridor of unity, ministry of happiness. These jagabats. Oh, but there's an almighty.
I said to people have asked me, oh, have you gone to Middle Street? Have you seen the, or whichever street it is outside of High Street there, Main Street. Have you gone to see the one Guyana display? I said we have to remain laser focused.
Oh yes, one Guyana outside, but in the National Assembly, oh no, it's we Guyana.
From the salient matters at hand. So no, I have not gone because I will not go to be distracted by, oh, look at the bright things, look at the bright lights. Mm-hmm. When our future is being robbed out from under us, and we're basically being fascinated By
Yeah. You know,
if you are exposed, what you understand is a very mediocre display of a Christmas arrangement. No, no.
yeah. That's how we come on stage, you know. That's how the Europeans did it. It's music and lights to carry, and when they come to see, it's enslavement just. You understand me? That's what. Listen to me. The PPP has perfected their art. You understand me? You want to distract us? Get big concerts and big music and so on, right? And big fancy lights and so on. Big artists come and then they're raping the treasury, right? When we distracted, they're raping the treasury. But we got a whole of focus. We got a whole of focus, folks. We got a whole of focus. Amanza, it's been my privilege having you on the podcast today, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Giving us so much guidance.
Thank you for having me, and we will continue to stay vigilant. Yep. This is our future. This is the future that our ancestors fought to give us, that our foreparents fought to give us. And if we squander it now, our children will never forgive us.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't put it in any other more poignant terms. Amanza, once again, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Sherry. Take good care.
You too. Bye. As well. Folks, that's our program today. So great to have so many of you on the podcast, guys. And as we say, we cannot do this without you. Peggy, Russell, Elias, you guys matter to us. RTL Lane and is it Jaiwan Bundari? You guys matter to us. We care which party spectrum of politics or religion you all belong to. You matter to us as a program. Ramaya, Adriel, or is it Andre? You matter to us. Audrey Ward and Anissa Yearwood Shepherd, Andrew Cosmo, you guys matter to us. Robin Lane, Barnwell, you matter to us on this program. We cannot do this without you. Ensure you share this live podcast before you go. Share. That matters, that we get this information out there. We're not just talking to ourselves like the PPP when we are there. 2 and 3 people watching them. Share the podcast wherever you are. All my life, I've had to fight. And I know that is so many of you out there. Alia Waldron, I know you're a fighter. Juliet Benjamin, I know you're a fighter. Lennox Anderson, I know you're a fighter. Claire Capel, Bernadette James, Lawrence George, Anne-Marie Selby. We know that you guys are fighters out there. Charlotte Barnes, Rhonda Lane, Marsha Glasgow, fighters out there. We're going to see you guys back in the ring this evening at 8. Guys, we can't do this without you, and that is why we ask you guys to partner with us. Your finances matter, keeping us on air, this program, In the Ring, our affiliate. We got other things in store, guys. Come on board with us. We have several platforms available at Cash App. Our platform there, it's the $ or symbol, In the Ring 592. It's the $ or the dollar symbol, In the Ring 592 at PayPal. Our PayPal email address is inthering592@gmail.com. At PayPal, our email address is inthering592@gmail.com. Folks, we have the local Cash App here in Guyana. It's the MMG platform. It is our number there via MMG, 627-6963. 627-6963. Guys, if you have any photographs of that is newsworthy, video that is newsworthy, information worthy, you have some information you want to share with us, that very MMG number via WhatsApp, you can reach out to us there. 627-6963. And come 2022, we're putting systems in place to be more responsive at that very number, 627-6963. And we're also available via the Western Union platform, via the MoneyGram platform. You need any guidance in any of these platforms, that is the number you should be WhatsApping, 627-6963, our MMG number. It's been a privilege having all of you. Marva, Gilbert, Wharton, and I see Sean, is it Bob Semple is with us? Peggy, Russell, Elias, Juliet Benjamin, Justin Halley, Roxanne Nelson Hillman. Good to have each and every one of you guys. Ensure that you share the broadcast before you go. It's been a privilege hosting you on our international podcast, Below the Belt. I'm privileged to be your host, Sherrod Duncan, as we were discussing today, the tyranny of the numbers, the PPP and the majority dictatorship in this country, and the nastiness they tried last night in passing that bill, the Natural Resource Fund Bill of 2021. A nasty bill. It's nasty. nasty, no thieving bill must pass. See you guys in the ring tonight at 8 p.m. Thanks for joining the podcast Below the Belt. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe out there. Share the live stream. We want to see those emojis.